just like, oh, I'm looking for that riff, you know? Like it's for us, the search is still going on. But really recently, and maybe it's because of our sons playing music now, which is fucking insane to me. We're kind of looking back going, I guess we have like influenced like a whole generation to kind of, you know, not like maybe write like us, but to, you know, kind of keep looking and exploring and just trying to jam, you know? So, but like I said, I mean, it's cool, it's flattering, and we're stoked about it, but we're still kind of on our own journey trying to find that stuff. But it's rad, man. I wish you luck with it because it's a hard grind. And as long as you get something out of it, it doesn't matter what anybody else says. You understand what I mean by that? Okay, good. Okay, don't repeat anything I fucking say.
I actually have a question for y'all, because you're wearing a Slipknot shirt, and obviously you play a lot of Slipknot music. So did you discover the music generationally, or was it something that you discovered on your own?
So you raised him right. Well done, man. That's cool. I love that. I mean, because sometimes that doesn't happen. You know, sometimes you can't communicate to your kids through music because sometimes the genres are so different. They just that language isn't there. So I love the fact that you guys have that, and that can be something you guys can keep for the rest of your lives. So good for you, man. Oh, it's right. I absolutely agree. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That's rad.
Alright, where do we go next? We're gonna go back to the
I
side.
don't know.
There's so many hands.
I started taking it out of Mike's hands, so I should probably.
Oh, I can hold on to. There's a person right in the second balcony. Yeah, you, the hand. Yep.
Yes.
Hi, Chris with a K. So I think a lot of parents here can agree.
We didn't get your
As a new father myself, it's hard to find time for hobbies, my kid, work. You're doing all this with acoustic solo tours, Sour, Slipknot. How do you find that equilibrium?
It's tough, man. You know, you lose giant chunks of time with your kids, which you then desperately try to make up for when you're with them by not planning anything while you're with them, not doing any work that takes you away or distracts you from them. It's been tough, you know. Like, luckily, my son and I have a pretty good relationship. We've been able to do a bunch of stuff together, but there were times where I had to go to work, and you know, he didn't have me there, you know, so I would have to play catch up. You know, I called him every night, I talked to him every night, and thank God for FaceTime because now I can see them all the time. But I have a 7-year-old as well, who I don't get to see as much. So I try to schedule my you know, stuff like this when she's with her mom, and that way I don't lose any of the time that I have personally with her. You know, it all comes down to who you want to be as a parent. You know, you want to be a part-timer, or do you want to be a guy who is there? You do what you do, but you're there. When you're with them, you're there, and that's what's very important. As long as you're there, then, you know, everybody spends time away from their kids, but it doesn't have to be bad, you know? So what I learned was to make sure that when I'm with them, they have my attention. They have whatever they need. I'm with them, hanging out, playing dolls, you know, doing my, you know, just being a dad, you know? And they in turn get to look and see that, you know, dad works for a living, but when he comes home, it's us. And that makes all the difference. So it's tough, you know. We were actually talking about what my guitar player Tooch said the other day. Christian Martucci, who plays in Stone Sour, plays in CMFT. He, you know, he likes to tell fans that, you know, we're not really paid to entertain. We do that anyway. We're paid to be away from our families. You know, that's kind of the compensation that has to happen, because when we're at home, this is the whole thing. That's all we do. You know, so it takes a lot for us to come out here. So because we are out here, I hope you guys realize how much it means to us to be able to do this with you guys, because it does take us away from our families. But that does not mean for 1 second that we do not love what we get to do for each and every one of you. So please remember that. Christopher McKay, ladies and gentlemen. There he was.
Let's take another one from this side. What are you thinking?
I'm trying to like look at pockets of people and going, who have I been like neglecting? I just came over here. I'm talking about people, like. Okay, hold on. I'll come back. All right. I mean, we got time. I mean, I'm not going anywhere.
We have nothing but time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. Mike, what do you think?
Mike.
I'm gonna let you dealer's choice.
You're gonna point, and I'm just gonna leap and.
Okay.
Are you?
You know.
I can't wait to see this shit. You better tuck and move, dude. All right. Let's see.
Right where you are.
That one. Yes.
Holy shit. Okay. So my name's Sierra with an S. I am very influenced by the 90s era of grunge, and I was just wondering what who your favorite was of the top 4, mine being Alice in Chains, there's Nirvana, Soundgarden, and Pearl Jam.
I mean, you can hear. Well,
Yeah,
they were
that's
from
it.
San Diego, though. And they didn't come until later. They were actually Mighty Joe Young before they actually got signed. I'm giving way too much of myself away right now. That's true. But she's correct. When she talks about the big 4, it's the 4 from Seattle. So that's what we talk about. But there are bands like STP, which I love, that are kind of outside that purview. But concerning that 4, I mean, it has to be Alice in Chains, because Alice in Chains, to me, is one of the greatest rock bands that ever was. And I mean that, I don't just mean that from a grunge standpoint or metal or anything like that. They revolutionized so much musically, and they inspired me to change the way I write music. I mean, full stop. Period at the end of the sentence. Lane Staley is still one of the greatest fucking singers they've ever been. Now that is not a reflection on the demons that he had to fight, obviously, but it is just that it has everything to do with his talent. I mean, he just made it look so fucking easy, and he could sing anything. You know, he could write anything, and the shit that he was writing about was killing him, and yet we loved it. You know, to me, that is the greatest bearing of the soul that I have ever listened to. And if you need any more proof of that, all you need to do is listen to Nutshell.
Yes.
It's one of the greatest songs ever written. I mean, that's not even my favorite Alice in Chains song. I mean, my favorite Alice in Chains song is Wood, full stop. That song is fucking incredible. But Nutshell is such an outpouring of trying to share with you the darkness that's in his heart. And even though you're hearing it, it's so light, you're just like, fuck, where is he? And we never knew, you know? And that's the great tragedy of people like Lane. And it's not just Lane, obviously. There's so many people that came from that generation of artists, the pain they dealt with. You know, some of them won, some of them didn't, you know. But the great thing is that we can listen to their music, and it can help us get past our own pain, you know. And there's probably not a day that goes by that I don't listen to Alice in Chains. It's still just that good. And the fact that I know those guys now is just icing on the cake. It's rad to be able to hang out with your favorite band, you know?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Down here.
Okay.
What are you thinking?
Uh,
Or I can take the heel heat for you.
yeah. You take the healing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. What is your thoughts of you and Slipknot being called like idols or, for the past like 20
Right.
You guys basically paved the way for not necessarily having music, just music in general. Like what goes in your mind, like, the pedestal that you and Slipknot are on?
It's weird. Let's put it. I don't know if you guys could hear that question, but he's asking how do me and Slipknot feel about the pedestal that like fans and whatnot have kind of put us on over the years. I think it comes down to why we do it in the first place. You know, like those reasons have never changed. You know, we still love creating music. We still love playing music. We may, you know, butt heads and we're assholes to each other every once in a while, but we still love each other and still love playing together, you know? So that being said, when stuff like that is bandied about, it's flattering, but you can't live your life by that, you know? Because then you start thinking outside of the reasons why you make music. You start thinking outside of the way you look at yourself. Maybe putting some sort of importance on yourself that doesn't need to be there, you know? It's cool. And I'm not telling people not to feel a certain way. I love the respect of it. Let's put it that way. I love the respect of it. But I don't need that to validate my existence. And there are a lot of people who do. And a lot of people use that to twist themselves into knots so they can treat other people horribly. And I just can't subscribe to that, you know? So as much as I love the fact that people are giving us respect that we've hoped for in the past, it's not important for us to feel like that. Well, okay, let me qualify that. It's not important to me. I can't speak for anybody else in the band, but it's not important. It's not important to me. I just want to be recognized for the body of work that I've done, for the body of work I've left behind, and for the fact that I never took an easy way out just for this. I always earned everything I made. I always fought for everything I earned. And I always felt everything I fought for. And at the end of the day, that's all I fucking want. Let's get it back in here, man. Let's start talking about some fart jokes or something.
Do you got any good ones?
Do I have any fart jokes? Well, let me think about that.
Okay.
I'll come back to it.
We said